Hey guys, hope you are all having an amazing day. Today we had a ton, and I mean a ton of stuff come up. I have been looking at short interests for the last couple of days. I have also talked with a few people and I personally came up with some attempts to discover the short interest that GameStop stock has. The reason for my hyper-focus on GME's short interest is because it is the stock that will make the squeeze happen, and I am more concerned about finding the threshold that will make us go to the moon. However, this endeavor sort of become irrelevant today, as legal documents and reports that we previously thought were an error, or a glitch in the matrix as I would say, have now been actually confirmed to be true. We have legitimate confirmation of what the short interest was back in January, giving us a real valid floor. As if that wasn't enough, it appears that FINRA may have filed a request with the ever more pathetic SEC to update or amend a clause as to what constitutes specified adults. It appears their concern with all that is happening isn't with Wall Street or the banks, but with adults being able to make rational decisions. They don't like it when the self-proclaimed retards actually start winning, so focus and efforts are concentrated into amending existing rules that don't need any change. As such, we have a variety of really interesting topics to discuss. I want to thank my followers and members of the Reddit community for bringing many of these things to my attention. Big shout out to Broka for being such an influential and great collaborator to this movement. His research has been instrumental in our success. Cryand, you have also collected and compiled some really good posts that I borrowed from, so thank you. Remember, all content on this video is not financial advice, it's just the opinions of someone trying to salvage the idea of a moral economic system. Consider dropping a like on this video if you find it useful or insightful, and without further delay, let's get started. I know some of you guys joined the movement way after January, but it is important to understand the context that this month had, because even though it was when GME started rising but got manipulated into not squeezing, it left a whole bunch of clues that we apes have been examining over and over. The reason for this is because these clues, when put together, start forming big patterns that have led to the discovery of just how deep hedge funds are stuck. Though we know GameStop and AMC are bound to squeeze, we have also devoted time to understanding what has been happening, and what hedge funds did and continue to do, in order to better prepare and keep each other informed. On January, there was an apparent glitch that showed GameStop to have a short interest of 226.42. The number quickly changed, eventually going back down to as low as 30%, but it was something that in the heat of the moment, caught many investors by surprise and got them riled up. However, on recent days, due to the diligence and selfless endeavor of Redditors looking through class action files against Robinhood, a particular number came up once again. On the legal document, it appears that the so-called glitch wasn't really wrong. GameStop had a short float percentage of 226.42% as of January 15th. For reference, AMC had a short float of 38.12%, BlackBerry had it at 9%, and Bed Bath & Beyond had it at 82.41%. Broka's hard diligence, which we have covered before, comes to mind now. Let's talk about what hedge funds did really quick for those a bit out of the loop. So, some of the members caught shorting these stocks, but in particular GameStop, were not going to cover, with the reason being that they overextended themselves to the point that with such a big rally of investors pushing the stock up more and more, they were going to create a huge financial hole to their company, or even worse, be forced to close up. As the DTCC CEO himself stated, there were no margin calls on January. Nobody ever covered, so how exactly did hedge funds manage to circumvent their way out of a squeeze back in January? Easy. They made it appear that they had covered all the positions they had by hiding through options that were super deep in the money. Let me explain. These members caught shorting go to a market maker, such as Citadel. They go and sell them deep in the money option calls while also buying shares from them. In the books, it will appear that this member actually purchased back shares that they had covered. The market maker will exercise these calls immediately. Taking a look at some of Broka's data, he found a ton of in-the-money calls that were very suspicious back in January, with so many calls that the settlement was worth 110 million shares of GameStop alone. Keep in mind that this also happened with AMC and the other meme stocks. AMC has been getting a crap ton of volume lately, just as GameStop has. The magnitude and proportion of still hiding all these shorting through options is still ongoing, and the more people buy, the worse it gets for them. What we have demonstrated today was that the short interest that was discarded as a glitch was indeed not a glitch. It was an accidental but real report of the short float percentage that our beloved stocks had at that particular moment. When we align these documents that corroborate this as a fact, and place them next to some of the data compiled by Broker, who inputted every option bought and sold on January in the coming months, we see that indeed, hedge funds escaped their decimation by kicking the can and hiding the shorts from the books so as not to be margin called and be forced to cover. Disgusting as it may be, I am in a way grateful for it. I have managed to buy more and more over time, and many people have joined the ranks, making the squeeze much bigger than it would have otherwise been back in January. We know that they are printing a lot of naked shares, and because of that, there is a possibility that the GME short float could have a floor of 500% or higher. I would put it at 750, but for the sake of being rational, I will put it at 500 as the minimum. AMC had a smaller float back in January, but as you might imagine, its recent popularity with millions of people buying and holding should have caused it to move many times higher. I think it could have a realistic floor of 100, though the real number should be higher. Again, I am just using the minimum numbers so we have a more realistic expectation. I am beyond jacked right now. We knew some of this info, but putting this legal document together that I was not aware of in context, everything adds up. Guys, we are going to the freaking moon. But that isn't to say that FINRA isn't going to try to be the party pooper. Oh no. It appears that FINRA filed a request with the SEC to update rulings designed to protect the elderly. They apparently want to extend a temporary hold on a disbursement of funds or securities or a transaction for an additional 30 days. It's not the end of the world, until you keep reading below and you see that they are slowly reaching to try to subjugate more people under the term that they define as specified adults. They go on to define specified adults as a person who is 65 years of age or older, or a person that is at least 18 years old or older who the member, in this case a firm, believes to have mental or physical impairments that renders them unable to make decisions. You heard that right, this is straight out of a dystopian society novel. Now, don't get me wrong. I am all for there being laws that look out for the well-being of those unable to take care of themselves. However, this amendment being pushed by FINRA is trying to use this sentimental value and expanding it so that members can easily start making decisions for people just based on their own ability to discern if people have the capacity to make trades or not. This is incredibly dangerous to every single investor. People who trade GME or AMC in this context could find some trouble doing transactions and being forced to wait 30 days because FINRA decided to implement a law that allowed its member to access that because you, being an ape, or maybe, to a degree, associated with groups that call themselves retards online on Reddit, might not be intellectually capable of making rational decisions, even if you just like the stock. Now, don't start getting scared. This is just a small proposal, and even if passed, nothing is really bound to come from it. The reason why I say this is because it shows the sinister intention and totally out of the loop mentality by which FINRA and other governing bodies act. The SEC continues to be a huge joke, without really hammering down on the vicious nature of the ever-growing parasites that manipulate the world. Looking through options and even fundamental data, there is absolutely no reason at all for why GameStop in particular should be naked short. They have a growing business with a capitalization around $15 billion with over $2 billion cash in hand ready to be used in anything they want. The mere fact that GameStop is referred to as a gamble when their sheets are so optimistic with growth, no debt and decreasing losses goes to show how spoiled and rotten the entire system is. In the end, today was a great day. This new discovery just solidifies what we knew as actual facts. Guys, we are already in the rocket and we ready to launch. We already won. The only thing now is the proportion by which you will win that is accounted by the number of shares you have. The Fed reported operations today totaling over $770 billion. Dark pool trades reported for GME have accounted for 42% of the total volume today, while AMC's dark pool trading accounted for 56% of the total volume today. Super interesting piece of data came out today from Australian broker Commonwealth International. It shows some of the most traded stocks in recent dates, and nothing comes close to the combined power of GameStop and AMC. Big shout out to our Australian apes out there doing the good work. I am so freaking proud of this worldwide community. So whether you are in Europe, Asia, South or North America, Africa or even Antarctica, know that you are about to get paid big time in tendies, so keep holding you stubborn mad lads. Let's quickly talk about stock performance today. Since GameStop is the one being added to the Russell 1000, let's cover it first. Remember, as is common on this channel, I won't go too deep on technical analysis today because it's Friday. I will make a Sunday video with a more broad and thorough explanation. GameStop was falling through most of the day, having 2 points of strong consolidation. The first one was between 201 and 204, while the next one was between 200 and 201. During the last 15 minutes of trading, GameStop had a big breakout. This is due to the rebalancing that is taking place as a result of it being added into the Russell 1000. A lot of consolidation took place and I could not be any happier. GME closed at 209.51 and way above the VWAP, which indicates a lot of strength on this stock. AMC, on the other hand, traded a little more volatile. The stock moved down for sure but had a lot more signs of strength and volume. After the dip at 11:30 a.m., the stock was moving up over time until it closed at 54.06. It was almost touching the VWAP line, which shows this is a serious point of consolidation for this amazing stock. I want to thank everyone for being so respectful and understanding in my video yesterday. Though I saw not everyone agreed with me, the respect and just general attitude by which we were able to agree to disagree but still support each other is just something that I have never ever seen in any other stock. This community is amazing and I am so humbled by the presence and perseverance of you guys. We may not agree on things all the time, but your heart and my CPU are all in the same place. Let me know in the comments section what you guys plan to do for fun this weekend. And with that, I want to thank you all for tuning in with me to the end of the video. Please drop a like on the video if you found it useful and remember to subscribe if you enjoy this particular type of content. Thank you to all who have pledged support on my Patreon or donated to me. I really appreciate all that you guys do. You guys make this channel possible. If you want to contribute, links for my Patreon are in the description below, along with one-time donation links for my Cash App and PayPal. With that said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.